Hi, how are you? My name is Rick, and I want to share some info that I hope you find relevant at this stage of your life. I'm using my work environment as a backdrop to give you an idea of what I'm about to talk about. If you're like me, you hate those boring 20-minute videos, so just give me a few minutes of your time to possibly consider a life-changing course adjustment. The purpose of this video is to let everyone who has a few years under their belts know that there are lots of employment opportunities for individuals with life experience. I am not going to show you routine, mundane 9 to 5 jobs. After all, who really wants a job these days? If you're like me and you're going to give up your time for money, it should be fun, creative, challenging, stimulating, and hopefully interesting. The following short clip is something that I've been hearing a lot lately. The lovely woman in the video is my friend Laurel in Cabo San Lucas. I'm using her 30-second story as my intro. Here she is.
Hey Ricky, how are you? I'm just calling because I was thinking about you today. I was thinking about myself, and I'm an almost 60-year-old woman, just lost my husband, all kinds of things going through my head, and I thought, and now what? And that made me think of you and your video blog thing you're going to do. Because that's my big question. And now what?
Anna says it all, right? So, are you too young to be old? Think about what I just said. Are you too young to be old? You worked most of your life to get to where you have time to do all the things you want. Now you have that time, but maybe you're just a little short of cash, or you realize you still have something useful to contribute to the world. This is where the question comes in. And now what? Most people get to their golden years without enough gold to do the things they want to do. That's exactly where I found myself a while ago. Step back 20 years. I'd sold a small landscaping company I had in Canada, and I ran away to Mexico. After a few months, I asked myself, and now what? Didn't have enough money to just laze on the beach, visit trendy restaurants, fish, golf, and perhaps ogle the odd bikini. What was I going to do? Well, I'm the one your mom warned you not to talk to. I started selling timeshare in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Fun gig, but still a lot of work, stuffed into short days. Plus, people aren't always the nicest. More on that later. Owned and operated a gourmet hot dog joint called Doggy Style. More on that later, too. Fast forward 20 years. Still in Mexico, but wondering what to do next. A friend of mine who was my partner in that restaurant before we sold it had moved back to Canada a couple years earlier and told me what he was doing. Here was his description. Had to do some online training and some in-person stuff, which took about a week. The course is called Basic Security Training for those who want to research further. I had to get a criminal record check. Stop right here if you have criminally misbehaved before now and have a record. None of my past caught up to me, and I continued on. Applied and was accepted at one of the largest security companies in the world. And now the job description. Here's where I got hooked. 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Now I could have both sufficient time and the money to enjoy that time. Stay at a camp where they feed and house you. Guess what? No expenses for half of every month. Get paid to do further small 2 to 3 hour trainings in your time off. Company provided uniforms, protective gear, and further allowance for footwear. This is a company that's very concerned about the environment and your work-life balance. I get to go four-wheel driving on back roads in a wilderness setting in a new vehicle provided at company expense. Oh, and did I mention that they pay me to travel to work back and forth every 2 weeks? Now, if you don't want a full-time gig, you can sign on for a much shorter duration. Also, if you're a concert or theater aficionado, they're always looking for someone for a few hours to look after events, and you get to enjoy the shows to boot. And at the end of every 2 weeks, I'd notice that they'd put a tidy sum of money into my bank account. If you're looking for further information about this or other avenues to earn money, now that you are mature, read, aging, but still productive and still want to do something, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. That helps me to create more content like this. Thanks for watching my very, very first video. In the comments below, please let me know where your areas of interest lie. You can find my email in the links if you want further information. If you don't want to look it up, it is andnowwhatvideos@gmail.com. Promise I'll answer. What's your retirement gig going to look like? Watch for the next video on Monday of next week while you try and figure out, and now what? Adios until next Monday.